Welcome back, my extraterrestrial mafia. This is Alien, and this is new Toon Tuesday. Today's episode is a build of my own. I went ahead and did a build that I am currently playing in the game, and it's a build that I had alive, and I never got around to finishing it. But I noticed I didn't have a build for it, which was odd of me. So I went ahead and built it. So this is a nice little extra episode. I went with the Katana. Katana is an amazing single target power set. It's one of the highest in damage because you can fit in the Achilles debuff procs in there. So it's just a nice extra debuff on top of the damage that they normally do. And the cast times are pretty short relative to all the other sets. Claws is the best, I believe, for cast time / recharge. So, with Sting of the Wasp, Flashing Steel, build up, Lotus Drop for that little AoE that I need, Soaring Dragon, Golden Dragon, Fly. Super Reflex, I grab all the powers except for Elude most of the time, because I don't like the tier 9s that do a crash. I don't like the idea of a tier 9 if it comes down to survivability. If the character can't survive on its own for the majority of the content and it relies on the tier 9, I personally, with my belief, is that there's something wrong with the build or the player. Not aiming towards anybody. I'm just saying that's how I personally view a tier 9 as a be-all end-all defense. But in this case, I went ahead and grabbed it because it's a nice Luck of the Gamma drop. So I'll never use it. It's just there for the extra IO. And in this build, it's nice because Super Reflexes kind of cap their defenses out naturally. You don't really need to put much into it. So I focused on hit points, regen, and resistances. So I was able to get 42.3% resistance, Smash Lethal, which is pretty good. I didn't want to go too much into it, but I got as much out of it as I could. I spent a lot of time on this build. A lot of time. It took me about an hour and just over an hour to do the build, but like 45 minutes of it was trying to figure out the nuances of it. But try to get, hit points, recovery, chance for damage in your fast, quick recharging power, and then chance for resistance here. Focused fighting, again, hit points, regen, smashing lethal resistance, damage buff here, resistance, hit points, regen. You can see where I'm going with this. I got defense out of here. It ended up being kind of nice to have, but the resistance, the recharge, and the damage buff, along with the ATO IO, along with this one over here too, which is right here. So these come in handy. These will buff your damage. Practice Brawler, I just do endurance mod and a recharge in here. So because you want this up all the time, but because you fire it off like often, but not like super often, it's just nice for the endurance mod, just to save on endurance. We went 3 slots in hasten this time because I was so close to perma hasten. I went and did a 3rd slot, so I'm now perma hasten. Combat jumping, Kismet again is 6% to hit, not accuracy. It's to hit, and to have, you must have some to hit in your builds because accuracy is so easy to debuff from the enemies. But having to hit will help you fight through a lot of the debuff that's in the game. Dodge, because it's an auto power with the Luck of the Gamma recharge in here, and then 2 in here for Smash and Lethal resistance. There's more to these, but I'll explain that later. Quickness, just a movement speed, because I'm going to go Ninja Run Sprint combination, and that's pretty fast, especially with a speed power that comes from your secondary power set. Sprint plus Ninja Run plus this is really fast already. Fast enough for me. Kick because you can do a chance for plus recharge in here. You can't do that with boxing. So I'm not even going to use the power. I'm just putting it in there just in case other people want to use it. Tough, 4 slots. This was for the melee and range defense because I felt like I needed a little bit more, and so I just went with this. Got the 2 gladiator, the plus 3% defense in here, so steadfast protection and gladiator's armor. Sword and dragon, because I didn't need the defense, I was able to go for more recharge. So I got 5 slots of hecatomb in here, with the chance for negative in here because that's really nice to have in there. And then the chance for resist debuff. Lucky, same thing as dodge, except I have the scaling resistance IO in here from reactive defenses. This gives a 3% base resistance up to 10% resistance at low life. Low life being 10% hit points. So this just helps your resistances. Weave, because it's just nice to have to free up your slot choices, so you don't have to build towards defense bonuses. This just helps out. Golden Dragonfly. I wanted to do the 5 slots of Fury of the Gladiator. I almost couldn't do it, but I was trying to figure it out to keep it because it has a chance for resist debuff proc in it. So Golden Dragonfly will resist 20 and 40, another 20%. So 40% resistance debuff to the enemy. That's amazing, especially for a scrapper. Evasion, pretty similar to all the other ones. Spirit Ward, that's the downside of the sorcery pool, is that you get powers that you don't really need. But here I just put the Panacea in here. That way I can save a slot in health or something else. Mystic Flight, this IO used to be over here in combat jumping. So because I have Mystic Flight now, I just put the Winner's Gift in there. I'm never going to use the power because Mystic Flight is slower significantly to my Ninja Run, Sprint, and Quickness combination. So I skipped out on it. I didn't need it. Water Spout, because Katana is a very single target heavy power set. I wanted another AoE, so I've got 2 now. Lotus Drops and Water Spout. Water Spout with Overwhelming Force will convert knockback to knockdown. Water Spout isn't like too much of a knockback, it's more of a knock up. But the knock up, they kind of tend to go out a little bit and fall. So it's just a kind of annoying, but not so much of annoying as like Tornado, which actually like throws enemies away. But I'd rather have them get knocked down. It's much easier to keep enemies together that way. And then Elude again for the increased global recharge IO. Rune of Protection is one of the powers I grabbed late in the build. I had maneuvers here with Hibernate, so I switched it out. I felt like I needed a little bit more resistance in case the defense fails. So I ended up getting Rune of Protection, 4 slots for resistances. So if I trigger this, boom, I'm up to 67% smashing lethal resistance. At low life, because of reactive defense, which is right here, this will be up to 74%. Right? Yeah, 74% resistance. That's almost cap for a scrapper. So while this is on for 90 seconds, I'll be very strong scrapper. It's just added extra protection in case the defense fails for whatever reason. But I liked having the extra protection. But the key to Super Reflex, though, because it's so defense heavy, is that these auto powers, along with the toggles themselves, give you defense debuff resistance. Having these slotted outside of just a proc or whatever, having these actually slotted gives you defense debuff resistance. These help you push this number down here up to, nearly 100%. Having this up higher will prevent enemies from debuffing your defense to below 45%, because then it just cascades after that. This will help you defend against that. So say you get hit by a 10% debuff from a Cimarron. I don't know if it's 10%, I'm just giving you an example. If you get hit by 10%, that 10% is then resisted up to 100%. Well, in this case, 97.6. That 10% with a 97.6% resistance will end up being 0.24 defense. So instead of getting hit by 10%, it's now only hitting me for 2.4%. That's amazing. So the idea is that if I'm getting hit by 0.24%, let's say 45% is your cap for your defense. So this number, 52.4 subtract 45. This gives us 7.4% above our cap. So 7.4 divided by what I would get hit by the Cimarron, or whatever it might be. This number will change based on what you get hit by. 7.4 divided by what your defense would get debuffed by equals how many attacks they would actually have to hit you before you hit that 45% mark. So they would actually have to hit me almost 31 times before my defense gets below. My math might be a little bit off. There's a lot of different calculations behind it, but this is kind of a general idea for everyone. So so having 52.4, that's enough. Some defense debuffs in the game are higher than that, so that's where the Rune of Protection comes in. This is just to help me protect myself. And one more. So my attack chain is Sting the Wasp, Soaring Dragon, Sting the Wasp again, and then Golden Dragonfly. Then you do that again. So Sting the Wasp, Soaring Dragon, Sting the Wasp, Golden Dragonfly. So 4 power attack chain is an amazing goal that I had. And I had to work with the recharges of each power with the cast time. So Sting the Wasp has a cast time of 1.17. Soaring Dragon has a cast time of 1.33. This plus this is 2.5. Okay? So Golden Dragonfly has a recharge time of 3.37. And this is the goal I need to get to. I need to get more powers that will equal or go above the 3.37. So I added in another Sting of the Wasp. Was 2.5 plus another 1.17 will put me up to 3.67, which is above Golden Dragonfly. So that's how you calculate the attack chain. You might have to add in more powers, or go back and forth maybe one more time if you could. I can't on this, but you're matching up the cast time with the recharge of your hardest hidden power. And so by the time this goes off 1.83, this will be back up. So this again. So you cycle through, and that's the optimal DPS for a single target. Flashing Steel and Lotus Drops is for groups, and then Wire Spout, of course, is for group / single target, because that spout will stay in one place if there's only one enemy. And that's it. Thanks for everyone for watching. Again, I'm Alien. If you liked it, leave a like. If you need some more explaining for certain things, leave a comment. If you're interested to see what I could do with your build, there's a link in the description for my Google spreadsheet. So I'll fill it out, and then I will get around to building it. If you have any questions on your build right now, I live stream quite often, and I do these builds live Monday nights. So if you're interested in joining me on a building night, come on by on Monday. I'll be here. And thank you all for watching. Have a good one.